Hi guys, number one Marmaduke fan here, and we're looking at. I thought this was Isami. It's In Case You Missed It. So Alterna is reprinting comics from previous years. Just the first version of this just came out in 2017, so that's not too long a gap. But in case you missed it, they'll reprint old books that have gone out of print, and this is Mr. Crypt Volume One, an all ages comic, and the theme of this video is you will not get tired of winning as long as you're with alternate comics, or maybe you will get tired of winning because you'll just be winning so much. Because I haven't picked up an alternate book yet that I put down at the end and I was unhappy with my purchase. Even like the one or two alternate reviews where I critiqued the comic because I'm OCD. Even with those, like I'd come back to it and say, you know what? Yeah, this was a fun comic. Like I haven't read an alternate comic that I've wanted to like get rid of or not own yet because I have such a good feeling. Well, I think about marketing a lot and branding a lot. Alternate Comics brand is professional behavior, respecting the customers, showing love to the customers, and publishing a variety of books in genres, and a special emphasis on all ages books that are clearly marked as all ages books. So this is Mr. Crypt, and this is his introduction. And it's such a simple character, but this is kind of a old school Hollywood, kind of Oliver and Hardy, Abbott and Costello, Three Stooges kind of setup, where the lightning strikes in the graveyard, he arises from the grave, and the running gag is that everyone just instantly assumes he must be an evil monster and chases after him. And so there's no greater narrative yet. Maybe there is in future issues, but it is a series of simple adventures, introducing some characters. So maybe there will be an overarching narrative to these. But the pitch of this is just a fun idea of a poor little character who just wants to relax, and the villagers keep chasing him at every opportunity they get. There's even like a recurring gag of the villager chasing scenes having a similar composition but being redrawn. So it's not copy pasted, but it's using similar visual language for kind of the beats of comedy. I almost think that maybe like a simple down to earth style is better for comedy because it lets you kind of like instantly process things. I think Christopher Hart might have had a book about this where he said if you simplify everything about a visual gag down to the most basic elements, then you spot the visual gag faster rather than kind of like looking at. So he might put like all the characters in the same suit color, right? So you don't get distracted by their different suit colors, and you just notice that the characters are different heights, and the gag is a short person gag, right? That kind of thing. So the fact that this has such a simple, straightforward style, I think lends itself to kind of like the rhythm of an actual comedy where you start cracking up. So I've been thinking a lot about what's the difference between like silly Billy condescending humor and humor that's kind of silly but exuberant. And I'm thinking about a lot about when I was a nanny, and like the kids I was a nanny for, they didn't understand the concept of sarcasm yet, but they did understand the concept of silliness. And I would also work as a tutor with them, like writing, drawing, that kind of a stuff. And silliness would inform the stories that they told. And they would know a story was silly when they told it. I don't think they were like consciously doing gag writing the way like an adult comedian might do it, but they were kind of intuitively understanding what's funny. So what I like about Mr. Crypt is it's kind of an intuitive story of like, okay, a skeleton rises to life. What kind of bad things can happen to a skeleton? Well, he wants a home and he wants a friend. And a bad thing that happens to him, well, a dog grabs his arm and runs away with it. And I like just the simple gestures of like, oh, he's sad, and he raises his arms, and then he turns and looks, and he's surprised, and he finds a home, and he has simple goals, simple desires. He wants a place to live. He doesn't want to be chased all the time. He meets a rat, and like the rat's name is Baron Rat, not because, oh, it's silly Billy, it's so random, but because he recognizes the rat was there first, so he decides to give him like a respectful respectful title or a respective like term of honor to the rat that's his first friend. I'm not going to show every page, but it kind of continues in that vibe. After the introductory story, there's like a little really like it doesn't even have like a punchline like, oh, haha, that's some wordplay. It's like the humor comes in just like this character's day-to-day life. He's like a Bugs Bunny type of character. The day-to-day life of Mr. Crypt is he walks around in his suit and mustache. The mustache falls off. The townspeople recognize him. He gets chased by the people with the pitchforks. And I love that style of character. I think all of the Golden Age heroes had an element of that really simple, down-to-earth style to them, which is why we think that Golden Age heroes are silly and cheesy and funny now, is because they were so simple, they were so straightforward, and that's always the generation of something that someone else can play with later. So I don't hate Golden Age comics. I think that people have been making fun of Golden Age comics too much recently, and they're not appreciating what makes them work. The power of Golden Age comics is the fact that you're just generating these very simple, straightforward ideas that it's like the creators of Batman and Joker, they didn't even realize what they were creating and how good that was. And yet they were able to just bring that out into existence. So Mr. Crypt is that style of character where it's just so basic. I've explained it already. That the basic pitch of it is what the basic pitch of it is. In the last little story, he gets a sweet little moment where he makes a friend and she sees him without his must hat on, and she doesn't judge him instantly as an evil undead zombie. So he has a job and a friend. So maybe there'll be like a developing plot to this where in the further adventures of Mr. Crypt. But I would absolutely give this to a kid. Not laugh out loud funny a lot, like I wasn't like rolling over laughing over and over again, but this was a entertaining comic in the Golden Age tradition with just a little element of sinister to this, and that he's a zombie, but he's such an innocent and sweet character. This is something that feels like a fairy tale or feels like a classic 1940s Batman and Robin adventure story, in that it's so innocent, it knows exactly what it wants to do, and it delivers that with charm and enthusiasm. So that's it. We're going to control the tangents. Pick up Mr. Crypt if you can find the original at a local comic book store. In case you missed it, you can get In Case You Missed It. I have to figure out if there's even a comic book shop in my local area that carries alternative books. But if I can't, then I'm just gonna like go on their website. They are so cool. The alternative people messaged me and thanked me for doing that unboxing video, and they offered me like a coupon for the next time I buy Alterna Comics. They love their customers. Support Alterna Comics. I love Alterna Comics, and I love Mr. Crypt. Let's get the creative team here. Okay, Troy Vesey, he created the character and he wrote it. Alexander Jovic, he draws it with kind of like a just really great, funny Bill Watterson classic cartoon style, and Peter Simeti edits. Wunderbar. Go get it. Number one Marmaduke fan, like, comment, subscribe, click the bell to receive notifications. Check out my Subscribe Star, the best way to support this channel. I thank all my subscribers at the end of every video, and I love Mr. Crypt. I'll catch you later.